Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2023 preview series where we're going to cover Team Liquid, the third seed from the LCS, North America, heading to the event in Korea. The last 3 years, the LCS third seed, 2022 and 2020, would not get out of group stage in the old format. However, in 2021, Cloud9 did get out of group stage and go to quarterfinals after beginning in play-ins. Obviously, with the new format, we don't know where this team might end up. I think we can make some educated guesses. However, this is also a new format, and this team has some interesting parts, which we'll get into. Their coach is Rainover. Rainover has been their coach for one split. Over his career, based on what Leaguepedia accredits him with as a coach, he was with Cloud9 that year that they would go 9-9 at Worlds 2021, and that is where his international experience ends as a coach. Obviously a former player, also in the Hall of Fame Discord voting ballot right now. So this team has some interesting parts. 2 of the 5 players, former world champions, but they're also the only 2 players that have went to an international event, which might surprise some people if they don't if they haven't really followed Summit's career specifically. This team's average age is 23.6 years old. Summit is 24. He is very dominant in top lane domestically. He has shown flashes in the LCK and LPL as well, but did return to the LCS this past year. His numbers are that of a very aggressive top laner of 2.6 KDA, 8.7 CS per minute, 56.4 KP, 416 gold per minute, which is 22.2% of the team's gold, 632 damage per minute, that's 26.5% of the team's damage. He is a carry-oriented top through and through. That is where he thrives. One could argue he's even one-dimensional with this in mind. At 15 minutes, he smoke shows domestic tops, 585 gold up, 15 CS, and 460 XP, 19 solo kills in 40 games, 11 champions picked. Summit, so we have, he's not in the class of Bin or the Shy or Keen, but we are seeing this year being the year of top laners that we haven't seen maybe ever, or in quite a long time at an international event, able to actually duke it out on the biggest stage. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the top lane meta works going into Worlds. Hopefully it's not too weak side and tank heavy, because if that ended up being the case, then it would be kind of disappointing, right? It would eliminate the hype around those top laners. But Summit, no international experience. We'll see how he does when he plays other top laners from other regions. In the jungle, we have Piyoshik, one of the 2 DRX members that are defending champions that are at this event. 23 years old, 3.7 KDA, 5.7 CS per minute, 73.7 KP. Team Liquid's top side of the rift is carry-oriented. Piyoshik is best on carries, hence his name. I think it references Kindred, if I recall. 363 gold per minute, that's 19.3% of the team's gold. 360 damage per minute, that's 15%. On average, he did get ahead of LCS junglers, 335 gold, 6 CS, 325 XP, 8 solo kills in 40 games, played 12 champions. Team Liquid, and Piyoshik being a big reason why, and Summit, their biggest issue all year was, and may still be because they are the 3 seed, taking their leads from the early game and figuring out what to do with them in the mid to late game to win. They were able to gap LCS teams in laning phase because they have good players when it comes to hands with Summit, Piyoshik, and hell, even Core JJ in the support roles helping the bot lane out, right? So there is that. But, you would think, because they had that Korean mentality going, they wanted to have that all-Korean team, Korean speaking and things like that. It didn't end up working, so they end up going with 2 American, well, Yeon was in that conversation anyways, but they go with a mid laner that I don't believe APA speaks much Korean at all, so they changed the way they looked, and, things got slightly better, right? And I think it's just simply upgrading from Harry to APA, but nevertheless. Internationally, Piyoshik is 21-11. Obviously, last year, like I said, he won Worlds, so he is a defending champion. And in Worlds 2020 with DRX, who drop out in quarters, he's 21-11. I think I may have already said that. In those 32 games, 3.2 KDA, 5.8 CS per minute, 70.4 KP, carry oriented. He's, there are some moments, and even at Worlds, I'll say it, Piyoshik into his face-off. We saw him miss many smites against T1 in the finals, somehow get a win. DRX won despite him. But when push comes to shove, you look at his numbers, he isn't out of place at the event. 343 gold per minute, 334 damage per minute. On average is pretty even with world caliber junglers. 155 gold up, 1 CS, 280 XP, 3 solo kills in those 32 games. In mid lane, we have APA, 21 years old. I was thinking about this. Team Liquid probably holds the mantle for North America when it comes to North American talent at this event. And you're going to say, really? They have 3 Korean players. What are you talking about? APA, Yeon, 2 very young players in mid and AD carry. And that's the thing, like the hype around younger American-born players and North American players for that matter. Just to help the LCS and domestically. That title that EG has or had with JoJo and Danny last year. So these numbers are average for a rookie. You have to keep that in mind. I had to kind of wing some of these numbers myself to try and weed out the academy numbers. So 3 KDA, 8.5 CS per minute, 66.8 KP, so 2 out of every 3 kills. 417 gold per minute, that was about 22.3% of the team's gold. 603 damage per minute, that's 25.5%. On average was mid in the mid lane amongst LCS players. 165 gold, down 2 CS, 15 XP up, 3 solo kills, 8 champions played in 30 games. He is not overly dominant. He does have some interesting picks. He does play the eccentric out of the box, Ziggs, Xerath, Vel'Koz, I believe, and things like that. Played a lot of Nico. So we'll see what APA brings to the table. This is going to be a big deal for his development. I think a lot of people may, drag him a bit if he struggles and just completely overlook the fact that he will be a rookie. He is 21 years old. There are going to be many younger rookies at this event, but he's a rookie nonetheless. Another rookie, Yeon at 80 carry. 4.9 KDA, 9.2 CS per minute, 65.2 KP. I would say Yeon is the weakest link. So this team, the weakest links are the carries. Both rookies. Neither one overly dominant domestically. 65.2 KP, 441 gold per minute. That's 23.5% of the team's gold. Weak side. Because Summit is eating up so much gold, that has to be taken from somewhere. This team, like I said, is top-centric, so bot side is the weak side. 27.5 damage share, on average, is middle of the road. 35 gold up and up 85 XP. 3 solo kills in 40 games, played 11 champions. Excuse me. Going into this event, Harry is probably going to be the substitute, I imagine. I think they should have Arrow as the substitute. I don't know if Arrow has North American residency. He's been around a long time. If he does, I would bring Arrow because I think Yeon is the one that has to be kind of backed up, if you will. Because if push comes to shove, I mean, Arrow is an older player, to say that nicely. But I feel like that's the one that you got to kind of watch. No international experience. And we have Core JJ, one of the older players at the event, 29 years old. This past year was his old self. I think Core is one of the best supports in the LCS. He's, doesn't get enough credit, I think, historically in LOL esports. I'm not saying he's like in that conversation for best all time, not even close. but I do think that people kind of overlook the fact that he has put together a very good career. It's one of those things, like, you play so long that, you know, you start to fall off at the end and people are like, oh, well, look, and then that's all they remember, but they kind of forget the good points of his career. So 3.5 KDA, 70.4 KP, 337 vision score per minute, places 8 wards every 5 minutes, about 2 control wards every 5 minutes, and clears about, you know, 2 wards every 5 minutes. So actually the vision's very good. Puts down a good amount of wards, but clears as much as he puts control ward-wise. A lot of players don't do that. 12 champions, 40 games. Internationally, he's played 81 games. One of the more, he may have more games than any other support at this event when it comes to, you know, international experience. World's 2016 runner-up, 17 he would win with, was it Samsung at the time, or Gen G, or whoever the hell. Doesn't really matter. 2018, 19, 20, and 21 out in group stage. And then he went to MSI 2019, finishing second. In those 81 games, he put up a 2.1 KDA, 71 KP, 263 vision score per minute. Keep in mind, when he did begin his career, vision score numbers were not quite as attainable. So 2016 and 2017, I actually don't have vision score per minute to look at. 138 words placed per minute, so 6 to 7 words, well, pretty much 7 words every 5 minutes. 2 control words every 5 minutes, and 2 cleared words every 5 minutes, which holds true to pretty much what he did in the LCS's past split. You know, that's the thing, like, that's where I could see, okay, don't have Arrow and have Harry, because Core kind of brings Eon along. But I really, you know, Eon is a player that I look at this team as below average, because not a lot of resources. I don't think he's overly dominant. Where APA does find a way to impact the game heavily, despite not having the resources. Like, this team is an interesting bunch, to say the very least. The top side centric play is clear as day. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Team Liquid. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.